With the ascent of Donald Trump to the White House for his first administration, there was a lot of talk about the deep state. Some call it the administrative state, the permanent bureaucracy, and of course the usual suspects, hate mongers of the extreme left mostly, branded as a conspiracy theory. The deep state is not a conspiracy theory. The deep state is a real thing. I'm going to play a short clip for you now and then discuss it and the ramifications of this sort of behaviour.
Oh, you're harassing me. What for? I haven't done nothing wrong. Tell these, mate. What, go on.
No, you've done nothing wrong.
Give me the definition of harassment. Give your details. You want me to give you the keys? Sit in your car, shut up. And if you want to fucking step to me and pull through your chest out, something like that, then fine. I'll lock you up. We'll do that, shall we? I'll make something up. Public order. Score up to a police officer. Shall I do that? Who are they going to believe? Me or you? Who are they going to believe? Me or you? You can film all you want.
I will do, mate. Don't worry about it.
I'll make something up. And if I do, who will they believe? You or me? Notice he said that with the camera running. This is the arrogance of these people. As usual, please excuse the creaking table. That was from an incident with Lancashire Constabulary in April 2020 during the obscene and absurd COVID lockdowns. What would happen if there were no camera? Well, if there were no camera and that plod had indeed made something up, who would they believe? They'd believe him, of course. This is the way the deep state operates. You imagine that, that's at the bog standard level. That's an obviously uncouth, foul-mouthed officer talking to a man who's apparently a youth, who maybe is not of good character. Who are they going to believe? Who are they? The jury? The magistrates? And society? Who are they going to believe? This is the way they operate. We've seen countless examples of this. There have been many over the years cases of people being fitted up by the police for imaginary crimes and for real ones, and there's seldom any comeback. Where a aggrieved person, a persecuted person, does get justice, it's at the expense of the state. I've long argued that where there is a cause of action, the police pension fund should be liable. There'll be a lot less police brutality and police misconduct and police malfeasance, if that were the case. Brutality isn't a big issue in this country, except in public order situations. And now we have what's so-called two-tier policing. When you apply this to the bureaucracy, all sorts of things happen. You get stonewalling, people are ridiculed, and when, like me, you've had a High Court judge laugh in your face, you'll realise just how deep this is. It really only came to public knowledge in a big way in the 1960s, when middle class people started taking drugs and they came into contact with the police as they wouldn't have done before. There have been some quite outrageous cases. Probably the most outrageous was Challoner, with the Challoner affair. He was a bent copper. Well, I say bent, he literally went cuckoo, and he was planting evidence on people. He came unstuck when he tried to fit up a cartoonist named Room, a bloke who'd written to The Guardian, published cartoons in The Guardian. And there was a big hearing. Well, what happened was Challoner was sectioned, and 2 or 3 junior officers were offered up, sacrificed, if you like. There was an inquiry, and then the people he'd fitted up were treated like they were really guilty. And we've seen this time and time again with inquiries, public inquiries. This is why I'm not in favour of this grooming gang inquiry, rape gang inquiry, whatever you want to call it. You know, police officers sitting around for hours, days at a time, waiting to perjure themselves when they could be out on the streets doing real work, you know, preventing crime, deterring crime, apprehending bad guys. Having said that, there has now been a concerted effort to get to the bottom of this. I mean, there have been convictions over the years, we had a lot of convictions, but it's the attitude not just of bureaucracy but of the media. Most of the media, it's just insane. And this is what we call the deep state. The media is really part of the deep state, although not paid by the government for the most part. It's incestuous, and people are treated as cranks and derided and just ignored. Now, the problem is exacerbated by the fact there are a fair number of cranks out there, quite a lot in fact. We'll see this with this Epstein business, where there's meant to be this massive cover-up of a sex trafficking ring, grooming kids, maybe murdering kids. So it's all bunk. The guilty parties were Epstein himself and his female, some victims turned co-conspirators. Apart from Maxwell, she was never a victim, but Sarah Kellen, Haley Robson, and the odious Virginia Roberts, as she then was, Virginia Giuffre. And it's very difficult to sort the wheat from the chaff, but this is what I call a worm's eye view of the deep state. If you ever come into contact with the police, with the business end of policing, in a serious way, you'll understand what I mean. And it's also could be company bureaucracies. Private companies are not part of the state, but you know, big companies, the bureaucracy state, you know, bureaucracy is a conspiracy for the most part. They protect themselves. So again, whenever you hear derisive comments about the deep state, although it doesn't really exist, remember this video and look at the experiences people have had, especially those who've got findings of fact and court judgments against agents of state repression, especially the police.